Hi everybody, Raging back with another Mechabellum video. It has been a while since I posted, and I am sorry for my absence. I have not been playing Mechabellum as seriously as I have in the past, but I have been playing it a bit more lately again, and I've been working on a strategy here. Blender RHINO. It's pretty good. I picked up this line from my friend Arptorius, who is a fantastic Mechabellum player. We use it here on PMAN Shark Hunter. He is a 2400 MMR player. When I played him here, he was number 4 in the world, I believe, so one of the best here. Starting out, we are Supply Specialist with Sabers and Fangs, and P-Man is Marksman Specialist with Marksman and Sledgehammers. Now, the line that I've been taking is you're sort of baiting out Mustangs, ideally, with Carry Fang. So I've been running a lot of Carry Fang. It's been pretty popular on the ladder, and people's immediate response, or seemingly immediate response, is Mustangs or like Fire Badgers or something, right? Both of which do very poorly against rhinos. So that's sort of the idea. We set up our fangs like this. We leave a space of 3 so that we can fit like a photon farseer or something for our rhinos. And pretty soon you'll see what my rhino techs are. But yeah, until then, you just sort of want to set up, you know, like I think Sabers are ideal with this build. I'm currently running these techs on Saber because they're really beefy. You know, they block for the fangs, and it's a common unit to go with carry fangs. So we want to be baiting, you know, as hard as possible here. So he's going to be playing defense. We're going to play aggro. We get ourselves a couple crawlers. We're going to go right into the wall. Want to avoid big chungus here. So in these early rounds, you know, when you're against marksmen and stuff, they're pretty good against sabers, but depending on your positioning, you might be winning these rounds. The fangs are pretty good behind the sabers, like chaff clear, and end up being good against the sledgehammers and the marksmen, but our positioning here was a little off. This saber here that just died got shot a little too early. Because of that, we will lose the round, but not too bad. It's not, like, ideal. You kind of want to be killing more stuff than this, I think, in my opinion. But, again, this is one of the best players in the world, so his positioning is pretty good. Okay, so round 2, we get some options here. We have spells, lots of spells, and elite Mustangs. So shield airdrop could potentially be pretty good. He doesn't have the best shield break except for this new marksman. The missile strike's very solid. Obviously, I take out some chaff. And I did go with the missile strike. It says photon emission. Wasp Swarm is pretty good for my opponent since my fangs are still in front of the tower, but because we're sort of baiting out, you know, like counters to carry fang, we will be ranging the fangs on this turn, and because I mispositioned the saber slightly, I'm going to sell this saber, and I'm going to range the fangs. Selling saber allows me to range the fangs, get a couple deploys, and defend against the Wasp Swarm, potentially, that he might be taking. I think he's deciding between Missile Strike and Wasp Swarm. So we're going to take out these crawlers. I took my tower last time, as well as the marksman. And he does go with the Wasp Swarm, which I thought he might. And we have ranged fangs, right? In my opinion, don't want to put Wasp Swarm in the center here, just in case someone does play fangs. You want to put it on the side, because if it's unranged fangs, a Wasp Swarm will kill the fangs and take the tower. So probably want to put it here or here, not in the middle. And yeah, so we put a crawler up here to distract whatever, you know, he might be putting here. Pretty common position for the marksman, but he ends up moving it right at the last second. Opponent also grabs himself Fire Badgers, crawlers, and he has the level 3 marksman now. And we just have lots of range fangs, a saber, and a crawler. And yeah, we will defend against this with the new fangs. And range allows them to stay back, away from the Fire Badger that he just added. And it keeps us chaff clearing, right? It's really nice. Now this Badger comes and helps him a lot here, because if I had taken the tower, we would have won the round. But he actually had one Badger turnaround. It's pretty lucky for him, actually. Yeah, it's not too bad. He'll win by like these marksmen again, so we're mitigating damage relatively well. We'll take out another marksman here, but we won't be able to clear the rest of them. So now the trap, sort of, right, that I'm setting up has been set. What I wanted to do is I wanted to play more Fire Badgers. I wanted to play Mustangs, right? That way I can go Armored RHINO, which should just brick the whole like counter to the Carry Fang. Also want to be adding wasps to this build as much as possible. And speaking of the devil, we do get wasps on this turn. So because I'm going Rhino on this turn, I might as well pick up some wasps because the Rhinos can get there. I play Blender Rhino, so it's whirlwind. But if they play like Melting Point, it's pretty good against the Rhinos. So what you want is supplemental damage with the wasps. Ground spec is very, very good against basically everything that might be good against the Rhino. So we do grab the wasps. Since we already sort of have like a counter to wasps, it's also just like pretty good for us. It's good against the marksman. Keeps him tied up for a while. Darkrunner goes with, or PMAN goes with Farseer out here on the far side. It's to take my tower eventually. And yeah, we take the wasps and go with Rhino here. Now, I kind of flip-flopping on this turn. It's very important, the timing on all this, right? Do I go level 2 Rhino? No, I can't really afford it because I need armor, right? What you want to be doing is you want to be sort of setting up like this hexagon of rhinos. You want a pod. Because when they're whirlwinding, these are my texts, by the way, armor is good against fire badgers, fangs, mustangs, right? Stuff like that. Whirlwind keeps us chaff clearing. Mech rage gets us really, really cooking. And power armor, so we can't be missiled and slowed down. So we do take speed. We've leveled our tower. We have range fangs, and now we have armor rhinos, which will get caught for a while here. The only unit that's really going to be doing damage to these rhinos is this marksman. These few marksmen. So hopefully they can live long enough, you know, where we like clear the chaff, get to the tower, win the round. But this guy is dying like faster than I want him to. Luckily we do have fangs, so the marksmen are sort of, you know, shooting random nonsense. We have all the fangs still, which are good against like all these units once we clear the badgers, which we do clear the badgers eventually. Take the tower, hopefully take the tower. Maybe get a couple more marksmen kill, but yeah, we're still getting hit here pretty hard by the fire badgers. You know, we just don't have the best chaff clear yet, right? So, getting a little bit low, a little more damage than I want to be taking. Okay, underground threat's really good for us here. I don't really need any of these other things. Range cards, too expensive. HP, again, too expensive. Since I'm already sort of like losing these rounds, I need to really just start to win. So PMAN goes with the smoke against my fangs. We go with the underground threat, which will clear this missile, open the way for maybe like more flanks up this way. And also, since they come out staggered, this missile won't clear it that quickly. Then maybe we get in, right? We're gonna grab ourselves another Rhino, which is good against this badger and all this stuff, right? Like we're taking whirlwind, so we can actually chaff clear. And hopefully we can, you know, get to this tower now, finally. We do have these wasps also, which are still pretty good for us. They did the most damage last turn, second most damage in the game. And that's most of our money. Going whirlwind. So this is the order I've been taking it in. Armor, whirlwind, and then it's up to you, right? Like, are you getting slowed? Take power armor. Are you already sort of winning? Take mech rage. Mech rage is like a win more button. It allows the rhinos to really get in there, right? Now, something PMAN is doing here that's a little confusing is he's going more fire badgers. I think he's really worried about these fangs. So the bait has been successful so far, I would say. Very successful. Since these badgers do 0 damage to the rhinos. And we are taking speed. We haven't taken any of our enhancements just yet, but let's see how strong these rhinos are. Now that we have whirlwind, we should be able to like get right through all this stuff, right? And here comes the rhino. Obviously, the marksmen are like the majority of his damage here. It's like the only thing that can actually deal damage, maybe besides the Farseer. Yeah, you can see we're getting in there now. We got a lot closer. We cleared all the chaff. The rhino killed all of this junk up here. The Farseer, right? Everything. Only stuff that's alive here is Farseer and marksmen, but we do have wasps that come in to block. And even though the rhino has like no health, we're gonna get that tower. And we're going to clear the board with our fangs that also continue to be good behind the rhino. You can see the point of these fangs now is starting to become pretty clear. Now, there's lots of good options here. The Tarantula is a very nice cell, so we can go harder into what we're doing. The Sandworm is a great unit for basically just tying up like the majority of his board, right? We can go like Mective Worm, it's pretty common. Overlord allows us to get Photon relatively easily, since we don't run Photon on the Rhino. We might need it against things like Ignite and EMP. Shark Hunter takes Overlord. These are his techs here. He's going to try to come get our tower. With 2 Overlords now, wants to use those against our Rhinos. He does take Launcher also, which will be good against this Rhino specifically. And to take our tower with that. So we did take the Tarantula, the big cell, because we just want to go harder into these Wasps now. Since these Wasps are sort of doing our most damage, right? They're carrying us. We want to eventually get range on these. We want to get more Rhinos. We want to increase the stack that we have here. And also we want to keep leveling the Fangs. They're very high damage, right? They're going to be good the whole game, regardless of anything else that's happening. They're going to be strong behind our big push. So even if our Rhinos die, we still have good Fangs, good Wasps, all kinds of good stuff, right? We're going to take the mobile beacon now to make sure that these Rhinos stay focused. We did take the level also here on the Rhino. Still pretty slow to kill like a level 2 Rhino. I do take defense finally, and I put down an anti-missile in case he wants to missile and slow down my Rhinos, which he doesn't actually do, but we're always taking speed with this build, and we've added a level 2 Wasp. So level 2 Rhino, level 2 Wasp, defense enhancement, mobile beacon, speed. Let's see, it's still pretty slow, right? Like the Fangs do a lot of damage to the boat, but now let's take a peek at these Rhinos. Whirlwinding, getting right in there. Opponent probably needs to start thinking about leveling his towers. The Wasps, right? This is why we have the Wasps. They are going to clear the boat. They're going to kill everything else. And now things are really starting to look pretty good for us. We've got our opponent in lots of Badgers, which is quite bad for him. They just keep getting stuck on these Rhinos, and the Wasps with all the levels are really the majority of our damage, right? This is our best unit, the level 3 Wasp so far. We haven't even teched it. It's killing everything, basically. So I'm a little worried about Orbital Jav, since he can just, like, orbital all of my Rhinos here. So I'm thinking about, like, is it EMP Blast? I don't think he takes EMP Blast. I think he tries to Jav me, right? Is it additional deployment? I could get lots more Rhinos. I could start to expand to the other side. Do I just Jav him back, right? Like, there's good Jav spots right here. Right here, I can take out, like, his best guys with the Jav. But what I end up taking is the Underground Threat. I just take a simple Underground Threat because he's actually removed the Farseer here, which I notice. And if I take Speed, these Crawlers probably get into this tower. Yeah, he's going to missile that because he realizes that as well. And I'm beaconing like this to avoid Javelin that never came. All he did was... I didn't actually notice what he took. Oh, he took additional deployment. Yeah. So I skipped additional deployment. I went with the Underground Threat. Just for like a tempo play, because it's like the least obvious one, I think. Like the Jav seems pretty obvious. So now opponent is going into Melting Point. And he doesn't run Absorb. Now, I think if you're going to play Melting Point, the most important tech against the Rhinos this way is Absorb. So I think Melting Point is a bit of a mistake. Obviously, it's not that bad, right? You can kill the Rhinos, but I just don't think he has the right tech. So we've got added range to our Wasps. We've added a couple more Wasps to deal with this situation here. We're just going to missile. We're going to missile out his Chaff Clear unit. He's playing the Wasps up here against the Underground Threat. So unfortunately, the Jav didn't come, so I could have just beaconed right in, and I probably would have won the round with that. But because I slowed myself, these Rhinos will not be able to do what I need them to do. And he did defend against the Underground Threat. We have killed the boat over here with these new Wasps, which is great. But we don't have ground spec yet, so we can't kill these as easily. We do kill one, but the Badgers are just cooking all our Fangs, which they haven't been doing while the Rhinos live, but the Rhinos have died on us, so yeah, we will lose this round, but you can see it's not even that bad. Like, I had to play around spells here. Actually, we're still gonna... Okay, we didn't get his tower with the Fangs. It's funny, we almost got his tower. So that's quite a bit of damage we took there. But now, if there's no spells, which there aren't, we can easily just skip and do more of what we're doing. I don't need redeployment with this, I don't think. Not really. I mean, maybe I redeploy my Rhino off the flank since he's sort of countered, but if I get the tower, I kind of like having this Rhino here right now. Now we're going to go with ground spec on the wasps. Ground spec on wasps allows us to kill the melting points, kill the badgers, kill the basically everything, right? Everything that's a problem. Now, what he did here, he took a very heavy loss of tempo. He took the boats, he took launcher on the boats, and now he's actually out of the boats. So we made him spend money on a unit that he is no longer using. It's actually not helpful for him at all, since we have all the wasps, and there's just no good target for them, right? Now that he's decided to go melting point. So that is a misplay from my opponent, regardless of him being number 4 in the world, right? This is like one of the best players in the whole game. So, oh, here's the Mustangs, right? Which the Rhinos are still good against, but he's realizing he needs something against these wasps, right? So he's going anti-air Mustangs, and I'm noticing a weakness here in his board. So I'm just keep exploiting these weaknesses. I had a Rhino here, go get the tower. I've got a Rhino here to distract all this junk. And now we've added another Rhino. Hopefully this turn, since we don't have to play around Jav, we can just go get right in there, clear all the chaff, and even if my Rhinos die, we've got ground spec wasps now. We're starting to spam those a bit. It's kind of like gospel, but it's from the front, so it's really just more like Rhino wasp. It's not really like gospel. And we have AM device as well against the like missiles. So he's not missiling us, but we are missiling him. Still missiling out his chaff here. I also shield. I just don't want these Rhinos to get slowed, right? I need them to keep going like this, and I'm still just leveling fangs, which are doing great, honestly. So now that we have ground spec and more Rhinos, and everything's going in the right direction, we've also added another Rhino up here. Let's see how we do. So he has melting points, right? But check these Rhinos out, man. When they're spinning, they do more damage. We have ground spec. Melting points are unsuccessful at killing the Rhinos. We still have Rhinos. We still have all our wasps. We still have all our fangs. You're starting to see why we went fangs early. It made him make all the wrong units here, right? So now we're doing really well. We've almost beaten him. So he's basically, I would say he's in like almost an unrecoverable position. Multi-melter might bail him out, right? That's like his last hope since he has all the melting points already. But there's all these spells, right? I have underground threat. Like I have lots of utility here with these underground threats that I have taken and the missile strike, so I can missile out stuff. Like we both take additional deployment. I just want to make more Rhinos, man, right? Like I don't need to do anything different than what I've already done. And actually, I am so confident in these Rhinos that I'm just going to play the Rhinos straight into that melting point. He did redeploy it back here because he's worried about this, but now the Rhinos are here. Like I still think the Rhinos would have killed him anyway. That's how confident I am in these Rhinos. Does take range and multi-melt, but since he's moved this multi-melter away, these Rhinos are going to get right in here. I've also added range and ground spec wasps, and I just add some crawlers. Why not? And that's really all I need, right? Like I have basically everything I need in this game. I'm just level these wasps. Why not? I did sell the Rhino so that I could afford this play over here. Since this is already counter, I might as well like go get his tower. And the missile strike will land. The underground threat will land. The Rhinos like will probably basically get right in here. And ground spec should do the rest. So let's see how this goes. Opponent has added more anti-air Mustangs. It's like a last-ditch effort play. I think he basically knows he's lost at this point. And, yeah, it's just not good for him, right? Because he's not clearing the Rhinos still. And imagine if he had Absorb. He'd be able to keep these melters alive a lot easier. And, yeah, we go right in here. And now the underground threat is all over this melter. See that he did clear our Rhinos on this side. Multi-melter did do its job pretty well, but we added Rhinos over here, and the whirlwind takes the tower. Underground, ground spec wasps are just annihilating basically everything here in the front line, while these extra Rhinos that we just added run in on the side. And now ground spec will take the tower. Rhinos will clear the rest of the board here, and the fangs from far behind are still alive, still doing massive damage. And we take down, that's how we take down number 4 player in the world, PMAN. Let's take a look at the battlefield here. This is a very surprising game for me to win. I don't know if I've ever actually beaten this player. Blender RHINO. Very, very strong right now. I haven't seen a lot of people playing this, but if you want to give it a go, I would say the best line, or at least the line that I've been taking, is bait out Mustangs, Badgers, right? Stuff that's really bad against rhinos with the fangs by taking fangs on round 2. Just keep leveling them. Add the rhinos immediately the turn after you go fangs. So that immediately after you go range fangs, add armor rhino. Because more often than not, you'll be facing the Mustangs, which is a very common response to fang carry. And obviously the rhinos just brick it. Now in this game, he did have the level 3 marksman. So if you're not against marksman spec, like this will like be even better, right? You can just add rhinos to flanks. It's a pain in the ass. And all the while, like ideally you want to get rhinos here, 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 and then you beacon the ball. And if they go like EMP or, you know, like ignite on fangs or ignite on Vulcan or whatever, you want to add Farseer with photon, and then you never have to worry about anything. And the order of the techs are almost always armor first. There are very few situations where you want whirlwind first, but there are some situations, maybe lots of crawlers is what you're facing. I'm not sure, you know, like if you're in a headbutt, sometimes whirlwind is just better, right? The safe one, the one that you probably want most of the time is armor rhino, since it bricks all the stuff that's good against fangs. And then the turn after you go rhino, you want to add wasps. This is my wasp bar. This is the gospel bar, right? There's lots, that's a pretty common tech bar. So if you're already running this, you can easily play this. There are situations where opponents will play things like, you know, air units against you or something, right? Mech rage on fangs, why not, right? Like you have lots of options with this build. You can go more rhinos, you can go more wasps, you can go more fangs, you can, you just make more crawlers, whatever. You expand your position, getting another mobile beacon, getting like 2 mobile beacons and having 2 pods of rhinos that you like beacon, or like a pod of rhinos from the center where you can pick like any direction you want to go in, is really good. And multi-melter is a pretty common answer. So if they run absorb, what you want to do, you want to go heavier into the wasps. The wasps are going to be your answer against the melting point. The rhinos will probably end up being chaff, right? They're going to chaff clear, hopefully for long enough for the wasps to eventually get there. Once you notice also that you're like winning the game with the rhinos this way, sometimes you just add the Farseer with the photon, because it's like the only thing you might lose to, right, is like EMP or ignite somehow, right? So like if you're already kicking ass, just add the photon Farseer, then you got nothing to worry about. But yeah, until then, just take it nice and easy. Build the rhinos, keep leveling the fangs, build these fangs to defend yourself from flanks, make more wasps, ranged wasps spammed behind rhinos is just like absolutely incredible when they have whirlwind. And yeah, you'll be having a good time. I've been winning a lot of games with this. Obviously, I'm beating basically the best players in the game with this as well. So it's very good. I would say that it is not meta, and that's probably what makes it best. Is people are not used to facing this, so you can get away with it a lot. Fang carry is very common, so people answer with the common response to fang carry, which is very bad against the rhinos. But anyway, that's going to do it for today's video. If you enjoyed the video, or if you learned something, give it a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. And I will start trying to post more videos, more content. I've been taking sort of a break from Mechabellum, step back from it a little bit. Not a big fan of these buildings and the way the game plays. There's just not a lot of people playing in general, so it's been nice to take a little bit of a break, a little bit of a breather, take the game a little less seriously, but we come back kicking ass. We're beating the best players in the game still. Rhinos, wasps, fangs, right? We're having a good time. You should give this a go. It's really a lot of fun. It's not even a hard build, and you get to play really fast units. Till next time, I'm Raging. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.